So,
It's a great day
you
at
know,
work.
guys, yeah, it's a great day. It's a great day at work. Saying some truth. I was just talking with him right now, and he's a good friend. But just let me just bring this to life and let's see how it goes. I'm gonna give him the mic, and sometimes people don't understand how life works, right?
That's a
Let's say
fact.
Christians, right? They don't understand how life works, and they're like, I don't need to do anything. I just have to, wake up at night and pray, and the morning God will just do the miracle for me. But they forget to, put in the work. Like you saying something a while ago? Just please let them know what to do. Let them know what to say.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm a perfect example of what life teaches everyone, and day by day, the interpretation of a single person is not the interpretation of people in plural.
Mm.
Because as much as we are we are in the fit of being spiritual, it tends to make a lot now in this century not really neutralize things. When we say neutralize things, it's like knowing that, hey, this is how on the physical it needs to be. Where is the effort that you do? Okay, when you do that effort, is it working? Why is it's not working? So all those things enter into consideration. But the fact here is, encouraging people not to give up. However, also making people um, think
Yeah.
or revise how they give a reason to God to let them live.
Yeah.
Because for my interpretation of life, you really need to give a reason
Yeah.
for God to let you live. Because if you're doing great things and you're impacting people's life, definitely you would see growth.
Exactly.
Which means that apart from that growth, there's a level of growth that increases your chances in a lot of things. Which means that if you're participating, for example, to someone, whether being helpful, whether offering something, or whether participating or working in a company,
Yeah.
whether you are maybe not working in a company, maybe you're managing a small business and stuff like that. That could be a way that you're showing God that this is the effort I'm putting, and that extension of life, or that reason to why I'm alive,
Yeah.
or you keep giving me that breath of life, is because I'm able to share, I'm able to offer, I'm able to try as hard as possible to eventually know that at a spiritual level I can, and I'm always going to keep that mindset of being someone that, hey, I believe in my God and
Yeah.
this, but on the physical world in question, it's different, and but it's all a parting that you need to make everything neutral,
Yeah.
just so one part doesn't weigh more than the
The
other.
other.
Because eventually, what many of us nowadays, what we do is we focus more on the spiritual or more on the physical,
Yes.
and forget, the neutral, how to neutralize,
Nice.
or
How
we
to
don't know
balance it
how to
out.
balance it, which really makes life more stressful, put pressures, just because eventually one side weighs more than the other.
Yes.
So if your spiritual path weighs more than the other, on the physical world, definitely you will encounter more challenges than if you were neutral. We don't say that you won't encounter, you would be a human without encountering challenges in the physical world or whatsoever, but being at the neutral level,
Yeah.
or you neutralizing the level of things, you have this capacity of knowing that, hey, at this point, this is what is best
Mm.
to do in the physical side, and just say, hey, God, this is the path I'm taking. Help me in the spiritual side. So eventually, we just have to encourage people nowadays to
Yeah.
not just sit and say, hey, it's gonna be, I'm gonna pray God will provide. Yeah, He will provide, but what do you do?
Yeah, what are you putting
What
yourself
what do
into,
you
right?
put
What do you want to
yourself
do with your
into?
hands?
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
Jesus did something. Disciples did
exactly.
something, right?
Yeah.
For
So
them to eat, for them to feed, for them to, but to help them go to where they were going.
that's
But
correct.
nowadays they're like, oh no, don't worry, God is my supplier, and they'll go from people even fast for many years and days, and yet the situation doesn't change.
Yeah, that is correct because obviously doing that, there's one thing I really really like about uh how God does things and the implementation of timing.
Mm,
Timing is
that's
very
deep.
important,
That's very deep.
and
Timing.
consistency.
Mm,
Now, those two things for me are very major, whether being the spiritual side and being in the physical, side where we are in the real world
mm,
scenario. Because consistency is like you know that this thing that I'm doing, it is how hard it is. I'll
yes.
not give up, or if it's too hard, you can say, okay, probably this is not the best time
Yes.
for this. Maybe I'll switch to this.
Yes.
But as much as you can really feel like you can make things not really a routine,
Mm-hmm.
because making things routine is like you're being stagnant,
Yeah.
and the spirit of advancement, growth, all those things are not there. And
Mm.
obviously, if you're already stagnant, I'm not sure, but definitely for me, my experience being, in a routine scenario, it's just like I'm turning
You
in a
know, someone
cycle.
someone said a woman of God said that many Christians are stagnant, and she defined it in a way that is so simple. That stagnancy is the lack of taking a step when God gives you an idea.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree to that. So definitely this is really encouraging, and I really encourage others, you know, you in the world you can really
Yeah.
really choose what you consider and always analyze, if it works on your scenario. Even when God blesses people, you know the blessings are not the same, or it doesn't come
Yeah.
at the
A
same
lot
time.
of people mistake
However,
that.
you might have like a motivational speaker telling you, "Hey, you need to do this, do that." But eventually, you need to know
Results
if
are
it
not the
apply.
same.
Yeah, results are not the same. Does it apply on my scenario? If no, what can I choose out of what has been said and try? Just to give myself a challenge, just not to do one thing and limit myself to that. So that's just
Exactly. And people listen to a lot of motivational talks online and they get stuck.
yeah,
They
yeah,
get
I
stuck.
agree. I
They get
agree.
stuck and they're like, it's not working. It's not because the person did not say the right thing, but it's because, just as you said, right, they did not filter it to get what works for them, then apply it. If the results don't come the way they want, they still try. Some people just
Yeah,
try, and then when the result don't come, they feel, oh, that person wasn't saying the right thing. We should just, this was just fake. But it's not. That person had applied that same thing they're telling you, and that was the result it gave them. So they are simply sharing their ideas that in case you try it, it might work for you. If it doesn't work, I think you should try to do something or keep searching until you find. Like you said, timing and consistency, that's very, very deep.
yeah, that's very crucial. And coordinating in ideas nowadays, I really encourage people to be very careful
Hmm.
with coordinating with ideas, whether be external ideas shared by people or whether be internal ideas. You know, we're in a world where everything you do, you don't do, it's always going to be talked about because it will reflect on the
Mm.
physical world or how you do your stuff and stuff like that. And it's always going to be thought through. But as long as you believe in your God and you have the full understanding that whether it be in a crucial moment or in a neutral moment or in that moment of routine, you can take a step back
Yeah.
and revise what how this world works, analyze the scenario that you've been to, just so you cannot enter and try to do something like doing something like no matter how difficult it is. I mean, try to. We usually say in a technical world or in a BPO for those who are usually in call centers, try to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, this century, every one of us want to think inside of the box, but we don't want to check outside of the box.
And what is outside is much more.
Exactly. So what is outside is much more of giving you experience, getting experience. But of course, again, be careful of how you coordinate ideas.
Yes.
Because if you don't know how to manage the ideas,
But
the
how
advices and
can
stuff.
they coordinate those ideas? Like if someone has one or two or three ideas at the same time, but they don't know how to put it together.
To be honest, coordinating ideas starts by you know, uh, looking looking into
Mm.
perception of doing perception management.
Mm.
For example, every one of us in life, even a baby, will see something, will see how someone reacts and something like that. So that should help you, in that environment, say, okay, in this scenario in life, it was like this for someone, but how could it be better for me, or how can I make it, try it my own way for it to work for me? Or probably you don't like it, probably you like it, but how can you make as much as possible to make things neutral? And of course, you can either be social, antisocial. Everyone is different.
Yeah.
No one is the same. We all have our own bodies, and the soul is there. So we speak. We might speak the same language, but we don't speak the same health.
Mm.
We don't speak the same, environment. We don't speak the same background. So just
Hello.
Are you live streaming?
No, just on
not
video.
really, just a little video.
On video.
Oh, you're on video.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
What?
alright. So yeah, so that's a typical thing to coordinate ideas, really evaluate those analysis
Yeah.
and whatsoever. Always review your idea, and really don't rush.
Mm.
Don't rush.
That's right.
I've learned the lesson is like, if you there's some things you can do it in a snap.
Mm.
There are some things you can't just do it in a snap.
Mm.
So I'm calling for people that they really uh, have their own things going on to really know how to manage, and manage to review whatever you might have anger issues, might have like this, but probably we all should work on ourselves to make it better for everyone,
Mm.
not only for us. But it's a difficult world. It's not that you won't sin and stuff like that, but eventually, how do you work on not doing what is not good twice, or how do you work on limiting that the sin? Because again,
Yeah.
um all of us are sinners,
Yeah.
and at some level we still do that because of how it presents, how a situation will present to
Yeah.
you. Because no one will be in this world that at a certain point in life
Yeah.
they haven't been hit by a specific scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Even our spiritual fathers, even our pastors, whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you would tell someone you don't have something just because you have your own you really have something important to do with what they are demanding, and you have time constraint, you have this, you have that,
Yeah.
you end up maybe lying to them just for a good purpose.
Yeah.
However, for you to have the understanding that there are some limits to that, to not make it a habit,
That's right.
and how to discern or try to mitigate
Yeah.
those ideas by the evaluation of how scenarios in life will work, and uh, probably do as much as you can to work on those ideas and coordinating your ideas before
Mm.
taking your action. But again, never forget one thing: we are in the world, you can't please everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You can work to coordinate your own ideas to see how at a level you can make things neutral.
That's right.
Like, speak about me, it's okay. You don't speak about me, it's okay. Am I living a life where I am giving God a reason to let me live and keep maybe giving, helping people? Sometimes we help people without knowing we even help them.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Sometimes you're not even
That's
conscious
right.
that you've done something great, you've done something good, but the fact that you are really not misled by the interpretation of spirituality, always the positive idea without evaluating the downside as well. Yeah, so the technical analysis of life is very important as well.
Like
So
being too
that's
spiritual, being too
yeah.
spiritual, being too spiritual. I'm not doing anything physically to, apply the knowledge from the Word of God.
Exactly. So, um, a lot of examples, but that's what I can really share, and
Wow.
and it
Wow.
it really worked, and yeah, yeah, you can't like tell someone to do something nowadays, in a sense where you would implement it. You can talk to your child, you can talk to someone, but having the understanding that every one of us is a human, and we all do mistakes, we all do those things, but serving the fact that we are coordinating our ideas
Yeah.
properly because before taking action, it's a very important fact,
Yeah.
and it will really help that everyone in our life will be conscious about those things, and it will help to discern, to motivate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we shouldn't really always take positivity. I really encourage to also see how the downside is high as well, and try more of finding solutions to limit that, or if you fall, get up, work again. It's life, it doesn't end there, but as long as you show the effort, uh, and you believe in God, it will happen. But obviously don't make one side way more than the other.
Yeah.
Just neutralize the sense of living,
Mm.
and leave the rest to God. We don't control today, we don't control tomorrow, and we don't have that control. But we should really, my big here is really coordinate ideas based on scenarios, or what you think will be for a typical helpful situation that could help you, give you the idea to coordinate a better idea.
Good idea.
That's just what I had to
Wow.
share. But yeah,
Wow. Thank you so much.
that's it.
This is Sir Frank. He's also an engineer, a solar engineer. He's also a team lead. He's a manager, and everything that comes with technicality, he's there. But him coming to say these wise words today, it amazes me. I've never seen him talk that way. Yeah, for just to be honest with you guys, he's a good friend, but I've never seen him come for this way. But it so much makes so much sense. Timing, consistency, being sure, don't be too spiritual, not to do what you have to do in the physical world, to take care of yourself, to go out there
Yeah,
and do something, and for God to bless it. And then stop complaining. Just go out there and try something. Keep trying until that time comes for you to manifest the blessings of God. I believe this section has helped you. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to follow for more. If you have any questions, please drop it in the chat box and I'll be glad to pass it over to Sir Frank to answer it and we'll send the questions and answers down back to you. God bless you once again. My name is Prophet Franklin Uche, and this is Citadel of Grace, Faith and Power Ministry International. Shalom, and God bless you. Any last words?
No, no, that would be all. It's really, I wasn't expecting this, but yeah, obviously it was there. But again, really, let's all coordinate our ideas, review them before, and making sure we don't make one side the spiritual way more than the physical, or the physical way more than the spiritual, but have a full understanding that it's all connected, and we need to coordinate those ideas we have or people have, and know how to discern what will work based on what scenario, and typically evaluate things the way life is. And and also wellness is very important. Thank you. As you mentioned, talking about that, this applies in everything, even your health, everything.
Yeah,
You cannot have headache because someone said they grind ginger and it worked for them. You think you're just going to grind ginger,
and
it's
it
going
works
to
for you
work
too.
for you too. You need to understand, evaluate the idea. If you have to go to see a doctor, someone specialist, go see someone specialist. Have it checked up. If you don't have the finances, alternative solutions. The world is wide. Social media is wide nowadays. But whatsoever you can get the perfect idea, coordinate on that, review, do your research. The world right now is a century that we are full of a lot of information. Really coordinate your ideas before taking an action, just so you're not falling back on a certain point, but you're neutralizing things to the benefit of yourself and others, or you try, even if
Yeah,
you can't, do that
that's right.
perfectly, but obviously, neutralize it. That's it. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so much. Shalom and have
Salam.
a wonderful time. Thank
Bye
you for joining.
bye.
A big shout out to AGC, Robert, Ajim, all of you. Daniel, thank you for joining. Have a wonderful time. Bye. Wow.